Hi, I'm Angela from Sleeping Bear Cabin Craft. Join me as I go into the hive. So it is the end of August, and I'm going to be doing a few things in the hive this time. I am not going to do an inspection, but I am going to be treating for a few things. So last week I did the Varroa check, and I thought that the numbers were really good. It was 5 and 8 for, uh, mellifera and Boudica. But when I actually counted the bees, because I did count the actual bees, the numbers were in a range that they shouldn't be in. So they were over the 3 per 100. So that means that we're going to need to treat it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Apiguard to treat it. And while I'm in there, I did notice that the hive beetles were more than I would like to see. So I'm also going to put some beetle traps in there while I'm doing that. So I will show you that process, and let's go. Okay, so anytime that you go into the hive, I think it's best to make sure that you have all the equipment beforehand. Now, I know with me, it seems like I always think I have all the equipment, but then I end up having to get something kind of at the last minute. But try to maybe make a list to see if you have everything you need. This is a little bit different because it's not just regular inspection, so I did have to put a few things together. For the Varroa mite treatment, I have my Apiguard, so I had the Apiguard ready. I also have some gloves that will protect me from the chemicals should I get them on my fingers. So those are going to be different gloves that I'm going to use when I go into the hive and when I'm actually possibly touching the bees. So we're going to have those separate. Also, I have, so I'll show you. So here is the Apiguard. This is what I'm going to be putting into the hives. I'm going to be putting one of these in each hive. And then the other thing I have is the beetle trap. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to pour about 1/4 of an inch of oil, and that's going to attract the beetle. And there's a little gate on the top that they'll go in and they won't be able to come back out. And it'll trap the beetles and keep them away from the bees and their larvae. So of course, if you have the beetle trap, you need to have your olive oil. Make sure you have everything for your smoker. Make sure you have your gloves if you're using them. Let's see what else. Any hive tools that you use, make sure that they're available. And let's get to work. Okay, so I'm almost geared up, ready to go in. It is a little early in the day for the girls, so hopefully they won't be too feisty. We will see though. Okay, so let's open up. Okay, so I think I'm going to work on melliferas. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Boudicas first because her bees, they seem to be a little bit calmer, so that'd probably be better. Okay, so this is where I've been feeding the bees, so there shouldn't be any bees up here, but we will see. It's pretty tight. There we go. I'll do this a little smoke just in case. Okay, that's stuck on there a little bit, so let me get my hive tool. So remember when I was saying that to make sure that you have all the tools that you need for the job? Well, I do not have my hive tool, so I need to go find that, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're ready. So this is just the super top that I put over the feeder that I made. So with the treatments that we're doing, we're not going to be able to have the feeder on for about 6 weeks. But I think it's okay because they've got plenty of stores. They'll be okay. And then after they've been treated, then I'll just add them back. I can hear the little girls in there. Aw, good morning, girls. They're bunched on the top here. You know, I'm gonna make sure that Queen's not here since I don't have the queen excluder. Okay. I do not see Boudica, so I think we're good. I'm just going to put this off to the side for right now. They'll be able to find their way home. Okay. Okay, so the first task that we're going to do is we're going to put the beetle traps. So here's what I need for the beetle traps. We have olive oil and then the beetle traps themselves. So what I'm going to do first though is I'm going to make sure that there is room for the beetle traps because I don't want to be sloshing around the oil once I get them filled. So I'm going to check right now. Now we are going to put these on the outside edges of the hive because what happens is the bees, they do go after the beetles, and what they do is they kind of push them towards the outside. So this will be a great place to be able to trap the beetles. And it's probably going to be pretty tight, so I am going to make a little bit of room. And we can do these one at a time, which is probably a good idea. So I'm going to start with this one. Okay. So you just put, there's sides in here. Just put about 1/4 of an inch. Okay. So that looks good to me. And then there's a little cover. So put the cover on, clamp it down. Okay, and then we're good to go. So you see these little feet here? They actually clamp onto the frame. Okay, so we've got one in. The one on this side is going to be a little bit harder because there is some burr comb, but what I'll try to do is maybe break some of the burr comb so that we have a good area for it. And there's not a lot of room here, so I'm going to try pushing it over. Come on, girl. There we go. Okay. They are wondering what the heck I'm doing in here. I get it. I would be wondering the same thing. Okay. So I think I've made a big enough space. So let's do this one now. So Boudica's girls are a little, I think maybe a lot of the bees are still waiting to go out because it's still morning. So they're wondering what I'm doing, and they're very interested in everything that's going on. So let's get this in here. There we go, looks good. Give them a little smoke. Maybe get them out of the way. There we go. Look at that. That was like perfect. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the Apiguard. So I'm going to change my gloves on this one because these are the ones I use for in the hive. I do not want to use the same gloves for the Apiguard. Okay, so I got the gloves on. Here is the Apiguard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it back. And it has this white gel. And basically what the bees do is they will get on top of this and it'll get on their legs and they'll track it through the hive and it'll help kill the varroa mite. So you actually keep the lid on because of course there's gel on the lid too, and you want to get the most out of what you've got. So I'm just going to lay it on the hive just like this. And there is a little tiny bit of burr comb on the top, so I'm gonna get that so that there's a nice flat space to put this. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so this is what everything looks like. So you have your Apiguard on the top, and then you have your beetle blasters here on the side. Here's the other one. Okay, you can see the girls here. A little feistier than normal, but that's probably to be expected. So the Apiguard needs a spacer. So what we're going to use is we're going to use a honey super. So the honey super that we were using to kind of enclose the feeding jars, that's going to be the spacer. Now, I'm sure there might be a better way to do it, but that's what we're using. And, you know, you'll see that there's going to be a huge space, and it's, you know, you wonder, are they going to build comb in there? I'm not sure. You know, a lot of beekeeping, I think, is an experiment. This is my first year, so I'm sure it's going to be a learning experience, you know, however it turns out. But that is the plan. I did do some research to see what other people do, and people do put the honey super on top the way that I'm going to do it. So I'll show you how that works now. So we want to get the bees off the side if we can. Okay. There we go. Well, get out of the way, girls. Okay, so it's easy as that. Okay, so I'll show you. So you can see that there's a huge amount of space, but you know, I do expect that there is going to be some burr comb, but hopefully not too much. So I'm just going to put the cover on, and we should be good. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I now need to go into mellifera's. I'm not going to videotape that. It's basically the same thing. Mellifera, her bees tend to be a lot more aggressive. So I want to get in there, do what I need to do, and then get out. So that is the idea. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to come back in 2 weeks. I'm going to change out the Apiguard. I'm going to add a new one. At that time, I'll probably inspect the beetle traps to take those out, refill them, put them back in, and then it's going to be another 2 weeks or so that we'll have that second Apiguard in there. And then after that, we can test again for mites and to make sure that the levels have gone down to what we want to see. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me as I went into the hive, and I'll see you next time. Bye.